vote to open the public hearing. Mr. Galley,
Yes.
Mr. Baker Senior,
Yes.
and myself is a yes. Okay. All meeting participants are advised that this meeting is being recorded on audio and video means to be retained as a permanent record. I'm going to read in the advertisement. Notice is hereby given that virtual continuance of public hearing for deliberations only will be held at 6:30 p.m. on October 3rd, 2023, remotely via Zoom on the petition filed under Chapter 40B Comprehensive Permit by Shingle Mill LLC, care of Conoco, 41st Street, Bridgewater, Mass. 02324, to allow the construction of a 236 units of residential housing. The project within two 5-story buildings on approximately 29.33 acres of land located at 0 Pond Street and 152 Wilson Street. The site, the applicant is proposing 25% of the units to be classified as affordable per MGL Chapter 40B. The site is located at 0 Pond Street, lot number 13, map number 9, and 153 Wilson Street, lot number 68, map 10. A copy of this application is on file in the town clerk's office and is available for inspection during regular business hours on the town's website. We do not have a quorum for this meeting, so we are going to have to continue our deliberations to a future date. Deb, do you have any available dates? We have until the 12th of October. It has to be before October 12th. Tomorrow night, I'm not available. I'm available Thursday night. I don't know if you're available Thursday, Mr. Baker Senior.
Yes.
And I think Rob is going to be available on Thursday as well. So
Will that give us enough time for advertising?
You know, I don't know if I have enough time. I'd have to post 48 hours.
oh, okay.
We'd be beyond, I wouldn't have time to do that.
Okay, all right, well, we're going to have to, how about next Wednesday then? Or next,
What
or
about
next Tuesday?
Tuesday, the 10th? Monday's a holiday, so we can't be Monday.
Okay, yeah, all right. Yeah, if everybody's available on Tuesday, the 10th,
Yes.
all right, I'm a yes as well. Just let me.
Do we need to do that as a motion?
Mhm.
I'll make a motion. We continue the public deliberations for Shingle Mills till Tuesday, October 10th.
Okay, a motion has been made. Do I hear a second?
You
What
have to
time?
second.
A time and a,
6:30
you have to specify Zoom.
by Zoom.
Okay. Just, I don't know.
Me and you are the only two voting on this, so you have to second the motion.
Greg's the only one that has to second it, right?
Greg's the only one that can second the motion. Yeah.
All right, well, I second it then.
We have to
Is there
vote
Mr. Baker?
in favor.
All right, Mr. Galley?
Well, I don't know if I'm voting on it.
You can't vote on it.
Oh, all right, then, that's right, all right, yeah. And I'm a yes as well, so. So it's moved to next Tuesday at 6:30.
Yes, October 10th, 6:30, by Zoom.
Okay. So moved.
I'll make a
So-
motion to continue the zoning board's hearing for October 3rd till 7:30 tonight.
October 10th.
Well, he means
No, no,
tonight.
no. Tonight's meeting for the 7:30 meeting.
So I think we vote to
Yeah.
close the shingle mill and then just wait till 7:30 to open the new one.
Yeah.
All right. I'll
So
make a
do you-
motion to close the shingle mills.
Okay, I'll second it. Mr. Baker,
Yes.
and I'm a yes as well. Okay, so it's been continued to October 10th at 6:30 via Zoom. And we will be back to at here the application for 401 VFW Parkway at 7:30 tonight.
Okay.
All right, see you guys then.
Okay, thank you.
All right, so don't end the Zoom, we'll just be back in an hour.
Right,
All right,
sounds good.
thank you.
You have your stuff up?
Wanna play? Like to play? Huh? Come on. Come on, dog. Oh, God. There. Come on. Come on.
Get it, Bella. Get it.
Oh, I didn't know you were up here. I didn't know you were up there. Oh, boy, Bella.
I'm just testing my audio. Can everyone hear me? Hi, I'm just testing my audio. Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Looks like we have only 3 members of the,
Bob
So-
Baker's on, too. I saw him on there a minute ago.
Yeah, there are 4 of us here, Greg.
oh, okay, I didn't see you. Bob.
Is Rob not joining us tonight?
No, he couldn't make it. So, there's only 4 of us here. 1, 2. Oh, it's 7:30 right now. In attendance with us on the zoning board is Mr. Bob Baker Jr., Mr. Bob Baker Sr., Mr. Stephen Galley, and myself, Greg Tansey, the vice chair. Can I entertain a motion to open the public hearing?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, I have a first. Anybody second it?
Second,
All right, all in favor, Mr. Galley,
yes.
Mr. Baker Senior,
Yes,
Mr. Baker Junior,
Yes.
and I am a yes. Okay, so to all members participating in this meeting, please be advised that this meeting is being recorded on an audio and video media and is going to be retained as a permanent record. The rules of this meeting is the applicant will give their presentation. The board will ask their questions. The applicant will respond. At some point in the meeting, the public will have an opportunity to speak either for or against the application before us. If you choose to make a comment, please identify yourself, your name and address before speaking, and I will just raise your hand and I will call on you to speak. After that, we will make a decision to either close or continue. If we close the hearing, we will deliberate tonight. So with that, I would like to read in the advertisement for tonight's hearing. Notice is hereby given that a virtual remote public hearing will be held at 7:30 p.m. on October 3rd, 2023 by the Rockland Zoning Board of Appeals on the petition submitted by Achieve Lacrosse LLC, 42 Chestnut Street, Boston, Mass. 02108 for a special permit and or use variant pursuant to the zoning bylaws section 415-15C2 and 415-89. Uses requiring special permit, commercial recreational facilities and or section 415-89.1 zoning variances to allow applicant to conduct a lacrosse program for girls that provides lacrosse training and club team opportunities. The space will be used as the company's offices and as an athletic facility of approximately 5,000 square feet. The space may also be used for general fitness training at the premises known as the numbered 401 VFW Drive, Rockland, Mass. The property is located in the I-1 Limited Industrial Zone District, section 415-15 of the bylaw, and is further identified as Lot 5, Map 20 on the Rockland Assessors Maps. The owner of the property is Suffolk Advisors Acquisition LLC, 57 Bedford Street, Lexington, Massachusetts. Copy of this application is on file in the town clerk's office and is available for inspection during regular office hours and on the town's website. So at this point, if the applicant is ready to present their proposal, they are welcome to do so.
Okay, hello, everyone. My name is Kathleen Hansen, and I'm here representing Achieve Lacrosse LLC. So first and foremost, thank you for your time this evening. Just to give you some background on the company, Achieve Lacrosse LLC operates Mass Elite Lacrosse and Achieve Lacrosse. Mass Elite is a year-round club lacrosse program for female athletes from grades 3 through 12. We operate programs throughout the year. Mass Elite is a club program that participants join for a annual basis, and Achieve Lacrosse is a program that offers supplemental training to people that are non-club members. The purpose of this venture is that we are pursuing a new office space. We're currently in a 1,600 square foot space that accommodates our administrative staff, which consists of about 6 people, 3 full-time and 3 part-time. We are pursuing new office space that will hold that same number of people, but then further provide some additional space for us to develop new programs that is more exclusive to individuals, privates, small group training programs. We will continue to operate most of our club programs at remote facilities that we've been doing so since 1999, since we formed. That is where we entertain leases throughout the year at different facilities, and that's where the majority of our programs take place. This will be exclusively our office space, and then the ability to, like I said, grow some smaller, more individualized programs to the same audience, that 3 through 12. We operate the office hours usually between like 9 and 3. And then at this particular facility where we would be entertaining some hours conducive to after school hours and nights and weekends and things like that, to offer another program element for people that want a little more lacrosse training throughout the year than we currently offer. And that's pretty much it in a nutshell. Can I answer any questions?
So are you a proponent, a partial owner, or?
No, I'm just a representative for the LLC. I am their business manager.
Okay. So Mr. Baker Senior, do you have any questions?
Not at this time.
Mr. Baker Junior?
If I may, Mr. Chairman.
Sure.
You had identified what appears to be 2 separate populations or 2 different populations that you're looking to attract. One is the regular program of 3rd grade through 12. And then is that the same population, although in a different format or membership basis, that you'd be looking to attract the other people, also grades 3 through 12?
Correct. Our expectation is that this supplemental training would primarily be for existing members that are looking for a little bit more outside of what we currently offer. And then, some individual one-on-ones could be open to anybody, but in that same demographic, yes.
Okay. And the focus is going to be, as you said, lacrosse and essentially related kinds of activities?
Correct. Like we do currently have training programs that is specific to lacrosse, and then additionally fitness. So just some basic fitness training, but lacrosse is the main umbrella sport.
I'm sorry. So there's no contemplation to turning it into, say, a private membership all around gym or that sort of thing, right?
No.
Okay.
I understand the question. No, this would just be to cater to our same demographic that we get requests all the time for people that just need a little bit more one-on-one to grow their game.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Nothing further, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Galley?
Yeah, well, I'm going to throw this question at you, Mr. Tanzi, just to help clarify for me, interpreting the application. They mentioned a special permit and/or use variance, and I understand special permit does use variance apply? Or do you think that's just the applicants covering the bases in case it did apply? Because I couldn't tell. If it was like a,
Yeah, my understanding was that it's in an industrial zoned section of the town, and their use is really not in industrial or limited in industrial use. It's really recreation, athletics. So that's how I understood that use variance. Is Mr. Rubel available? I would like to have him chime in on that question.
Yes, what was the question?
Well, the application is asking for a use variance, and apparently this the building is in an industrial zone district, and their use is more of a recreational athletic club use. So it's our understanding that that use is not listed in the as a permitted use in the zoning district that this facility resides in. Is that correct?
Yes, yeah, you hit the nail right on the head. Because of that, I'm sure they're just being cautious and, they gotta go for the use variance because like you said, it's not allowed in the industrial zone. And then they have the other, of course, which is the the variance itself?
Special
Yeah,
permit.
the special permit.
Yeah, no, that they're just covering the use variance.
Yeah, now, I think it does require a use variance because, I mean, it is somewhat of an unusual
Yeah,
use.
it's a minor one, but it does need one.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
I just want to check because I just want to make sure I understand. And most of my questions were already answered by the summary. I was going to ask who was the demographic, and you answered that question, and the general hours of operation, you answered that question. I would imagine we're not worried about operating hours over out of certain times. I don't know what actually I will say, what are the window range of operating hours? Like what's the earliest to latest operating hours?
Right. So currently, our office hours are 9 to 3, but definitely expand on that depending on what we're doing administratively, Monday through Friday. This opportunity in this facility would then further grow that to after school hours. If kids wanted supplemental training, it would extend to possible weekend hours. And, we have tournaments and events even on holidays. So it could potentially be more traditional, weekends and holidays that a lot of people are off is when we seem to have, we can fill a schedule to meet this need.
Right, thank you. So I'll just throw the question at the assistant, the chairman. So their operating hours, that's nothing we have to worry about specifically, right? Like I don't know. We don't have to have them hammer that out and say that out, black and white, definitely what their hours right now. Is that covered somewhere else and we don't have to worry about that? A lot of times when we say you have to, open and close between these hours, wasn't sure if that's required in this discussion or decision.
I think it would be wise for us to nail down hours of operation. Again, they are looking to be training young children. They might be expanding to, I would imagine, people of an older, maybe they're in their 20s or 30s who are athletic and are, avid lacrosse people. So I would imagine that we would want to include the hours of operation as a condition of our approval. The applicant can always come back to the board if they need to adjust their hours of operation. If the, so I do think it's an important consideration for the board.
All right, thank you. That's all I have right now. Thank you.
Okay. I have a couple of questions. The application, Ms. Hanson, says that you are going to have 12 instructors or employees.
No, the application said 12.
I
No.
thought it said that there's going
No,
to be
we,
12 employees on the,
I don't remember
on the
seeing that. No, we
application,
don't have,
if I'm
we don't
not
have any immediate,
mistaken.
we don't have any immediate plans to expand our current staff, but we absolutely could, but I don't remember the number 12 being there. We currently have 6. Yeah.
So I'm just looking here. I'm just looking on the plan, and it says proposed new tenant, 12 employees, lacrosse admin and light practice location. So on the plan, it says that you are going to have 12 employees.
Which
And then,
plan?
well, the plan that I'm looking at, it
Yeah.
says existing conditions plan 401 VFW Drive in Rockland. It's got a date of August 29th, 2023. And this is underneath the notes that are below the north arrow. It's the second.
No, I see. It could be a growth plan. I mean, the front office space isn't going to accommodate that number of physical desks. But that could be, that could be an instructional growth plan. I'm not 100% sure where the 12, where that came from, other than just a room for growth.
So
Can-
how do you envision the operation going from the standpoint of, how many people will be at this facility at one time? Will it be 6 training employees? And they will be.
Yeah, so it could be on a normal office hours, that back to that 9 to 3, it's probably going to be a maximum of 6 people for the administrative side of it. If we open up to the proposed, plan that you saw with the 3 spaces, the 3 divided small field spaces, you could potentially have 2 coaches and then maybe a small 5 kid, 5 at once. The space itself is not conducive to a large group in a lacrosse training. So it could be two coaches and then maybe a 5 to 6 athletes in each piece of that 3-block field. So 2, 4, 6 coaches and maybe 5, 10, 15 kids would be a high end.
So there'll be, all right, so you think there'll be approximately 15 kids and 3.
That would probably be the high end.
Okay, and so that
If they all came, if they all were there at the same time. It could also, I'm just using that as maybe an example of a max. More often it would be probably a one-on-one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 people.
Okay, so how long will these training sessions last for?
It will depend. I would probably guess about an hour would be the average. If somebody requested more, I would say at this point, yes, we would accommodate that, but I'm thinking they would each be about an hour.
So if you had a total of 18 people, right?
Mhm.
Training for an hour or two or whatever. And then the next session comes in and there's another 15 cars. You're looking at the 15 plus the 3 plus the new 15 coming in the overlap as the other 15 students are going away. That's at the change time, you're looking at about 33 cars that are
So-
going to be, parked. They could be small kids. And this is an industrial building. There's people moving refrigeration units. There's people working in garage doors. There is a floor product operation, Able Restoration. There's also people doing dishwashing. There's a lot of heavy trucks coming in and out of this facility. I'm looking at the back of the facility and I can see that there are loading doors. So, you do have some heavy truck traffic being shared by, a facility, a training facility that will be having an exchange of the younger kids, children, or even just people getting in and out, pulling in, parking, the shuffling in and out. But the site plan says that you've got 12 spaces designated for that. Here on the site plan, there's a total of 67 spaces at the facility, and I did count them, and that's an accurate number. And if you tally up all the spaces that are listed here that's being used, that's at 61. So that leaves an excess afloat of, let's say, 6 spaces. But, potentially you could have as much as 33 spaces being needed at an exchange. Even still, 12 spaces just during the normal session, not when people are coming and going, but once the first class has vacated the parking lot and you're left with just the students in the facility training, you could be up at 18. So my question is, how do you control that the changeover excess when one class gets in, one class gets out? How do we know that the existing businesses are utilizing, the requisite 12, 6, 8, 15 spaces listed here on the plan? Well, I'm just trying to get a handle on how the control of the parking is going to be vetted out to ensure that other businesses aren't losing spaces to, your business when one class gets out and the other class gets in. Has any thought been given to manage that?
So I think when asked the question about the maximum is where I was giving those larger numbers. Our intention for this business growth is more individualized. I would anticipate smaller groups, and most of those groups, I mean, again, I would think it'd be even more individuals and then maybe leading into smaller groups. And in our experience, and what we like about this particular location is that for that hour session, even in our existing training programs at other facilities, the parents drop the child off either themselves or in a small carpool, and then they don't stay there. We tend to, I mean, we've been doing this for a long time. We operate out of like a Canton Sportsplex, and there's always the drop-off scenario. That's just what we've experienced. So I'm not visualizing that maximum number of people and a changeover. I think it'll be, it's a new business venture for us, so it might be a slower progression and smaller groups. But I think my initial number was a very high estimate, but just putting it out there as what I think that space could accommodate. But in our experience, they come and go. They don't linger, and they don't consume parking spaces for any real length of time.
So
I'm not sure.
how many towns do you pull from people?
From lots of towns all over Massachusetts. A lot. We accommodate north and south of Boston, so many towns. This club is open to anybody from any town in the state.
Specifically from this Rockland facility.
Oh, how many players from Rockland?
Yeah.
I don't have it in front of me. I don't know. We pull from a lot of the South Shore towns.
Yeah. See, the thing of it is, a parent coming from, if a parent has more than a 15-minute drive to the facility, they're not necessarily going to drive there, drive back. There's a half an hour gone, and then, spend 15 minutes at home and then drive back. Most of these, any parent that's from, let's say has a 20-minute ride to this facility, they're not going to drop their kid off. They're going to stay there, and they're going to watch the training exercise from that mezzanine, I guess, that you've got above the offices. I noticed on the floor plan there's a see-through screen in case people, an errant lacrosse ball goes up in that audience. So it looks like you have planned for a provision for people to stay and watch that training as it goes on. I mean, I've got a a young child, and I take them to work out exercise lessons too, and it's right here in Rockland. I live in Rockland, and it's about a 15-minute drive. And I just sit and I wait in the car, because it's just, to me, I go back 15 minutes, there's a half an hour, I stay 15 minutes at my house, and then I got to run back to get them. I just wind up sitting in the car. And, some people do get dropped off. But when it lets out, when things get changed, the parking lot gets to be a little bit of a zoo, and there are little kids running to the facility and leaving the facility, coming back to their parents' cars, and so forth. So I'm trying to, get a handle on how you're going to manage the parking situation. Yeah.
Yeah, so again, I see this more, more smaller group. I mean, we have talked about it. We've talked about proximity to, Derby Street or shopping centers that would make it convenient for people to not have to sit there. That's just our experience. I mean, we've seen, our Canton Indoor Sportsplex, and they head over to Target instead of hanging out. Again, I hear you. That space that is there now is an existing staircase and an upper level, and that is going to be storage as well. That was one of our intentions, because the front part is all office space. And I think that, we're going to have some kind of railing or something up there, because right now, I think there's one smaller piece. But again, we're envisioning this more as, smaller groups, not heavy traffic, outside of the regular business area hours. And I can't speak to the other people at that facility specifically to what their delivery schedule is like. But we find that those after school hours, weekends, things like that, I don't anticipate that kind of high volume of coming and going and intercepting those other vehicles. Of course, yes, it could happen because deliveries happen all the time. Again, but I don't see it as an issue at this time.
Okay. Mr. Rubel, do you have anything that you would like to add or say?
Yeah, I'm just looking at the right-hand side here, and they're saying that there's 8 units. The building itself is 2 stories with 6. And you counting the mezzanines as a unit each, so that makes it the 8? You
asking?
have a 2-story brick building that says 6 units.
Yeah, that was the plan that we received from the I believe the landlord. Is he on?
And,
He is on.
okay, and you're using suite 3. So suite 3, the 3D drawings that I'm looking at, is that all the same suite 3?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, with the green color, yeah.
Okay, I would just like to say, Mr. Chairman, that where these are gonna be somewhat like a gym, I am gonna need an occupancy load. And I'm gonna have to have net and gross occupancy loads on these units, if it's permitted. And I can also say that I know a couple of these tenants, and they're not there as far as the parking goes. They're not there all day. Like Able Construction, they're out in the field. They're using that unit more or less for storage. They're not using the parking lot. I'm gonna say probably maybe a third of the employees might be there, and the other 2/3 are out on the road, because I use them boarding up houses. They're not there. And the other
That's
one,
for Able.
what's that?
No, that was for Able.
Yes, Able and the Lally Farms. They're using that area too for storage. Exactly how many spaces are free, I can't tell you, but I know that this count here, they're not there at that parking lot all day. They're in and out, and I know you got some concerns about the little ones running around, but those spaces are probably adequate for that unit. It's just that I don't know if we should have some slow signs down there or watch out for children if it's approved. But I will need an occupancy load of the building, net and gross. That's all I got.
All right, very good. Any members of the board have any additional questions? Mr. Baker Jr.?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, if I could ask Mr. Rubel a question?
Certainly.
Yeah, Tom, in I-1 zone, are there any restrictions in that zone as far as hours of operation or days of operation?
No, that's up to the board.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. At this point in time, I would like to,
Greg, I have one question.
oh, I'm sorry, Mr.
No.
Baker Senior.
To the opponent. Now that school is in and school doesn't usually get out until 2, 3 o'clock, but you're saying your hours are gonna be 9 to 3. But wouldn't you need it after 3 o'clock to take care of those?
Yeah, yes. So the 9 to 3 was the standard administrative office hours. And then we usually leave to go coach and do things at a different facility. But then an expanded hour would be when we start offering these individuals, which we would expand beyond that. So yes, it would be after school, 3 and on, probably between that 3 to 6 would probably be the most that people would be interested in after school and before dinner. And then expand into weekends, which could be a longer period of time on a Saturday or Sunday. The 9 to 3 was referring just to the administrative hours, our regular office hours.
Okay, the other question is, do the administrators teach the lacrosse too?
Yes.
And
I'm the only one that doesn't all the time. No, they're all coaches.
okay,
Yep.
thank you.
Yes, Mr. Galley.
Yeah, for the applicant, I just want to clarify, I think I understand, but just to clarify, the office hours are 9 to 3 in the morning, and then like say 3 to 6 in the evening or the weekends, that would be when you would do on-site training. So that's the plan, to do training, right? And to clarify, there aren't plans for making this more like a tournament facility or a competition.
It can't be. It's not. It doesn't have the field size that we would need to do that. So no. No.
Right, so that excludes you from worrying about,
A whole slew of people showing up for a tournament. It's not the right dimensions for that.
Right, thank you. That's all I had to ask.
Mr. Chairman, could I ask the applicant another question?
Absolutely.
Thank you. So if you could specify for us on a daily basis from the time that facility or the time that your space is unlocked until the time it's locked up for the end of the day, regardless of whether it's being used for office work or training, what hours are you seeking and on what days are you seeking those hours?
When I say 9 to 3, it's typically because most of the coaches have other responsibilities off site. However, we could move to a more traditional, if this is what you're asking, we could move to a more traditional 9 to, well, I'm sorry.
Well, no, you had mentioned about doing training in the late afternoon and possibly extending into early evening. So that's what I meant. So from 9 o'clock, when you first enter that building on whatever day it might be, until you close the doors for the end of the business day, whether it's for office purposes or training. So it's 9 o'clock until when and on what days?
So if I was speaking to a parent or some, typically it's a 9 to 3 office hours because most of the coaches are also the office staff and they are conducting training at alternate facilities. However, I have been in the office for extended hours. I've done a 9 to 5 day. I've done a 9 to 10 day, depending on what specific tasks or what I had going on in my workday, just like anyone would. But then within that, we're looking to expand our hours so that we can accommodate some of this new to us individualized training that would expand our typical office hours, which now at our current facility are marketed as 9 to 3. It does not mean that we're not there beyond 9 to 3 on any given day.
So assuming that this individualized training is taking place, when would that end for a particular day?
So we haven't specifically decided when an absolute end session would be, but like I said before, the assumption would be that it would be the after school to early evening window. So it could be, the last session could be 6. Again, I don't have an absolute specific on what the hours of operation will be because I still am in the early phases of even marketing this program because we currently don't have a facility to do this. So the expectation based on what we know of our clientele is that we would be extending our current office hours into the early evening to accommodate specialized individual training.
And then you said you had mentioned even longer hours if you were open on weekend days.
So we would have to structure a schedule that gave people, like similar to setting an appointment. We are going to be conducting training and we need to establish that, what those hours would be on a weekend, even what those hours are in an evening, and then give people the opportunity to fill that. So we still need to work to, we're not going to be going into all hours of the night because we have families, we have other commitments as well. So we will be setting a schedule, per se, like time slots. And my based on our early conversations, it would be immediately after school and into the early evening. And then a weekend would probably be, a 9 to 3 and 9 to 5. We're still ironing out that. And it's going to kind of depend on how well this is, received and how many, one-on-one or individualized appointments we accommodate.
Thank you. Excuse me, Deb, did we lose Greg?
Yeah, it looks like we did, but he should be signing back on.
Okay, thanks. I have nothing else.
I have a piggyback, but I want to wait for Greg to come back. I don't know if I need to.
Yes.
Good. We'll wait for Greg. We need hold music.
Yeah.
I can sing if you'd like.
Better you than me.
Oh, I don't think so, Steve.
Steve, if Greg doesn't come back on, you're running the meeting.
Huh.
As the secretary.
Oh, wow. I don't have a cheat sheet or nothing. I might invalidate the town's, charter or something if I.
So while we're waiting, if I can just add a little bit, just to clarify, we operate most weekends. We are at alternate facilities or we are traveling with our tournament team. So if we're trying to get a sense of, the consistency, it's not likely that this is going to be an all weekend, every hour, event. All of the coaches are coaching, like I said, at tournaments or other facilities. So just if that clarifies a little bit,
It does. And in my question, I wasn't suggesting that you were planning on running it for excessive hours. I was just trying to get a better idea of what your
yeah, no, understood. Yeah.
I think Greg's trying to connect.
That you, Greg? Oh, connecting to audio. Right. But he's muted. Back, Greg?
Oh.
You don't seem to be muted, but I don't hear you.
Okay.
Hey, if Greg's running the meeting, does that mean him signing in loses control and he's mute, he can't get in or something?
I think he's having internet issues or Wi-Fi.
I don't know what you're going through, Greg, but you may need to check your permissions for the app that you're using. Maybe it's not letting you use the microphone.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah, we got you.
All right, sorry about that. I don't know what happened, but my computer shorted out on me, and I certainly apologize for that.
Happened to me before.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I'm on my cell phone right now. Okay, so where were we when we got out?
Mr. Baker,
Um,
about operating hours, and I want to piggyback that.
Okay,
All set for me to continue?
sure.
I just want to check, you mentioned after school hours. Would there be training during the summer that would be during your normal office hours?
Yeah, I would say, yes, again, our club, both Mass Elite and Achieve Lacrosse run regular programs throughout the summer at our primary facilities, the other places that we take our teams, as well as a lot of travel tournaments. So I guess the answer would be yes, we could potentially have training at different hours in the summertime. But again, with all of the other programs that we offer at all of the other sites, it would still be a small, a small scale, but yes, we could expand the hours.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I don't think that'll change your consumption of parking and facilities too much, but I just was trying to see.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's it for me right now.
Okay. Any other questions from the board? Okay, at this time, I'd like to open it up for the residents that may want to, if anybody wants to speak in favor of this petition, you may identify yourself, your name and address, and make whatever comment you'd like. Okay, seeing and hearing none, is there anybody who would want to speak against this petition? No, okay,
Motion to close the hearing.
okay. Motion, I have a motion to close the public hearing portion of this meeting. I have a second. Any discussions? Okay. All in favor, Mr. Galley,
Yes, aye.
Mr. Baker Senior,
Yes.
Mr. Baker Junior,
Yes.
and I'm a yes as well. Okay, so the open portion of this hearing has been closed. We'll deliberate it on it tonight. You will receive a decision in the mail with a date stamp on it. 21 days after that date, you may appeal the decision if you want, or anybody else can appeal it within that 20 days after that date stamp. On the 21st day, you can go to the town clerk and they will give you a certificate of no appeal and original copy of the orders of the decision, the conditions of the decision. You will have to take both those documents to the Registry of Deeds and record them as part of the conditions of this permit, if the board so elects to grant. So, okay.
Greg, just to let the lady know, the Registry of Deeds is on Ham Street in Rockland.
Mhm.
I know
Yeah.
you're not around this area, but
No, but I've done real estate, so I
Yeah.
do know where all the registries are on the
Right.
South Shore.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you, though.
Yeah, you can record it at the Rockland at the AAA, provided that you don't have registered land. If it's a quit claim deed, you can record your decisions and certificate of no appeal at that remote office without having to trek down to Plymouth.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So do I have a motion to enter into deliberation?
So moved.
All right,
Second,
and seconded. All in favor to deliberate, Mr. Galley,
yes.
Mr. Baker Junior,
Yes.
Mr. Baker Senior,
yes.
and I am a yes. Okay. So
All four of us?
what's up?
All four of us voting?
Yeah, we're gonna have to we're gonna have to vote on two things: the use variance and the special permit. I would say that we would deliberate on the use variance first, because if the board doesn't go for the use variance, then the special permit is
You.
is automatically voided out. So is there any discussion, Mr. Baker Senior, about allowing a athletic recreational training facility in this industrial zone?
From what I gathered, it sounds like it's gonna be more of office space they're using, with sometimes having between 1 and 5 people practicing at any time there. It doesn't sound like they're going to be overburdened like the skating rinks in town are with their parking. Sometimes when they have multiple games at the skate rinks, there's cars parked out in the street, they're parking in the neighborhood, you know. The only thing that I would suggest is that on the drop-offs and pickup, if they would request the parents to come to the door and pick up their kids and walk them back to the cars, see how that works, you know, with the traffic, especially during business hours of the other businesses. Just so the kids aren't running all over the, because I see it down at the schools.
Oh,
And
yeah. You know,
the parents have to walk to the door to pick up the kids and bring them to the cars. Just
right.
for safety concern.
Yeah, because, you know, kids, they go out, they scatter, they're not sure where their parents' cars are, and you know, so there should be, you know, an area for, you know, maybe the instructor, you know, lines the children, you know, at, you know, say an age of, you know, 12 and under or 11 and under at the door, and the parents come up and they just release the kids as the parents come up to the door. That way, you know, everybody is, you know, accounted for and is safely dispatched to their parents and their vehicles. And,
Right.
and then, you know, they'll have to ask parents with the younger kids to walk the
Right.
children up to the door so that they don't get lost in the shuffle. Yeah, just as a precaution. You know, there's a lot of industrial businesses where there's, you know, just the potential of, you know, a kid straying could get in trouble with various, you know, heavy equipment, or people making deliveries in and out of the facility. So I think that would be an appropriate condition to make.
Also, I think they should probably put some caution children at the entrance of the parking lot.
Caution.
Whatever a
children
DOT, you know,
sign.
sign is now. Yeah.
Yeah, because
You can't put the slow children anymore.
right.
That's inappropriate.
Yeah. Well, caution children, because in a facility like this, most of the people who have been working there are not going to be anticipating children,
Right.
you know, dispersing throughout the parking area. So,
The other big thing is probably should have them no drop off at the front of the building. You know, I think there's a fire lane. Tom, is there a fire lane there? No parking fire lane?
No, but I think you guys are on the right track. How about a speed bump somewhere?
Could put a speed bump in the middle of
Yeah.
in the middle of it.
Yeah.
I mean, signage is fairly easy to do, but where this is rental property, would a speed bump have to be something approved by the landlord?
Probably.
yeah, I mean, it's a condition of approval. If the landlord is objectionable to it, then he, you know, will have to rent to somebody else. That's all. I mean, that's really not a matter for the board. If we feel that, you know, if we're going to grant a use variance and this additional safety protocol is warranted, then so be it. If it's a contingency situation between owners, we don't get involved in that.
Right.
So basically, you're saying to say if it was college age students and athletes older, we wouldn't be worried about a speed bump, but where now there's, you know, elementary and junior high and high school students, we're more worried about a speed bump. That's what we're,
Correct.
so, okay.
Mr. Baker Jr., do you have any thoughts on conditioning this?
Beyond what was already discussed, no, not at all.
I'd like to revisit the hours of operation because we never really, tied those things down. Well,
Well, it was flexible. And they're
yeah,
not cast in stone.
yeah.
Couldn't we come up with outside hours of operation, and if they want to change them, they can apply for some permission to change them in the future?
Yeah. Actually, this is probably more of a discussion for the special permit. We're technically we're deliberating on the
Special
on
permit.
just the use variance. Does anybody have any reservations about entertaining a use variance for this site?
I mean, it's not something that one would typically think of it as being an industrial zone, but that being said, I don't think it's an inappropriate use at all.
Yeah.
Well,
Keep in mind that a use variance is a variance. It runs with the land. It doesn't go away when,
No, I understand.
this,
Would it be specific for that use? The use variance would be specific for soccer, lacrosse training?
yeah, I would definitely make it very, business specific so that you don't get somebody coming in and having, something that's going to pull an audience and consume
Right.
all kinds of parking. And then they come in, their lawyer says, well, they got a right to it. You get, the use is on the property, the variance is there. So,
Right. We'd have to specifically say the use variance is solely for the purpose of lacrosse training in office.
yeah, with the,
Deb had a question.
yes, Deb.
Yeah, so it would be specific to that unit, that particular unit, not
That
the
unit.
building itself, correct? Can you do that?
Well, the use variance goes with the land though, right? Not the building.
Correct.
Well, yeah, I don't. Yeah, we can condition it so that the use would be confined to that unit of that building, and that the parking requirements maybe does not exceed a certain amount, so that somebody can't come in there and have a third of the building being used or a quarter of the building being used and consuming 98% of the parking.
Someone down the line couldn't come in and put in a skating rink or a soccer field.
Yeah, or something that is, the use has it might fall under a recreational use, but it could be a totally different animal that pulls a different crowd at different amount of people. It might pull an audience. It might, who knows what. All right. Are there any other comments or concerns, or anybody does anybody have any additional thoughts or anything more to say on the issue?
Yeah, just on the condition pertaining to the activity, just to make sure that they can do what they described to us that they want to do, could we phrase it to the effect that lacrosse training and related administrative functions? So it lets them do the office stuff and the training stuff, but no more.
Right.
Yeah. And just limiting it to no more than 5, or 15.
Inhabitants?
I would say,
Wouldn't that be under the special
Yeah.
permit? The
well,
number of occupants and stuff?
yeah, I'd rather tie it to the variance, because that limits
You're right.
the
Yeah.
amount of, it prevents an abuse from happening. I'm thinking more not specifically for this individual, but when this individual goes, and that variance remains, somebody else can't come in and just abuse it. That's what I'm thinking about here. So, I mean, I would think we'd want to limit the use variance to that particular unit, and limit the amount of people in that unit, where we could say no more than 3 trainers at one time, and no more than 15 trainees at one time.
Well, she was saying 2 coaches per the 5 people in each spot. It would be six coaches and trainers and 15 kids.
All right.
So 21, it'd still be
If we
21
want to
people.
do that, 6 trainers, and
15 kids.
per 15 members, or whatever, customers, or whatever. We'll have to think about that verbiage, but what I would
Trainees.
want. What's up?
Trainees.
Trainees. Okay.
6 trainers and 6 trainees.
Yeah.
How about something like this? Exclusive of administrative personnel, not more than 6 trainers and 15 trainees present at any one time.
Yeah, that sounds
That would work.
good.
That would work. Yeah.
I mean, what we could do, we could also say, we could limit a session to like 50 minutes, so that people get out, at say, 2:50, and then they're gone, and then 10 minutes, I don't know, 10 minutes later, the next wave comes in, and just,
Would
what's up?
we be getting into the middle of that scheduling?
Yeah, I think that's overstepping.
Yeah.
Okay. I was just trying to facilitate the drop off, people picking up and dropping off.
Yeah. Mr. Chairman,
Yes,
yeah, can we think about enforcement too?
sure.
When you think of these, think of how they're gonna get enforced.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess that would be a very difficult thing to enforce. They'll just have to work it out with a protocol of, with the drop off protocol, but that'll be on a topic for the special permit.
With nothing else being said, I'll make a motion to grant the use variance with conditions.
Okay. The motion is on the floor. Do I hear a second?
Second, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah. Any discussion? Further discussion? Hearing none. I'll take a vote for the motion. Mr. Galley,
Yes.
Mr. Baker Jr.,
Yes.
Mr. Baker Sr.,
Yes.
and I'm a yes as well. Okay, so the motion for the use variance has passed. Do we want to discuss further the conditions, shore them up?
I was thinking maybe we should see if they'd be willing to put a pedestrian crosswalk.
Yeah, I mean, let's leave that for the special permit. I think what we've got now is a condition where we've limited the personnel and the trainees and administration staff, and I think we've done that pretty good. Mr. Baker Jr., did we have a verbiage for a condition that can limit it to the unit that's making this application?
It was discussed. I don't know if we decided on any language for it.
Yeah.
Well,
can you make a recommendation on condition or language for that condition? I'm deferring to your legal expertise. And actually, you were very eloquent on the first condition. So no good deed ever goes unpunished.
we have to know what the exact number is of the unit.
You're right. That's what I was, does the applicant know what the designation, the number, or how the unit is identified so we can identify it and what we're doing?
No, we can't really ask her.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You're right.
Is it on the application? We can ask Mr. Rubel. Mr. Rubel, did the unit number appear on the application?
I have a question.
Yes, Deb.
Tom, do those different businesses in there have different numbers? Like,
Oh, I'm sorry, I was on mute. It's Suite 3.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought
Thank you.
it was 3. Okay.
All right. So actually, if I can turn back to my page here. Okay. So how about this, that the use variance shall apply solely to Suite 3 and then whatever what is it, 401 VFW?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I thought it was 33.
I thought it was 3, but
Proposed new tenant, Suite 3.
okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you get that language, Deb?
I have it, yes.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. Can we have a caveat on that Suite 3 can't be modified, like expanded into other, in other words, Suite 3 can't be made twice the size and Suite 4 and, 2 are reduced in half or something, just to prevent any future, abuse of this use variance from occurring on this property.
I don't know if this would work, but just taking what we already talked about and adding to it in its present dimensions.
Yeah, as it exists at the time of this.
Yeah.
At the time of the granting of the use variance.
Yeah, thank you. That works.
And I just want to ask Tom, by saying in its present dimensions, would that interfere with any of the interior work that they're planning on doing?
No, as long as that's why I wanted an occupancy load of net and gross. So we'll have the net figure and I'll have the gross figure.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Just a quick question, is that occupancy load a condition of the variance?
I was going to have it a condition of the special permit.
Okay, Okay,
Although I guess, well, maybe we
Put it
should
on-
have it. Maybe,
put 'em on
no,
both. What if we put them on both, Greg?
yeah. Yeah, that's fine. Belts and suspenders.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so we'll add that occupancy load as a condition of the use variance. Right. Okay. Any other discussion? Any other thoughts on any other conditions for the use variance?
No.
All right. So, do I hear a motion to deliberate on the special permit aspect of this application?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, there's a motion.
Second.
Motion seconded. All in favor? I'm sorry. All in favor, Mr. Galley,
Yes, aye.
Mr. Baker Jr., Mr. Baker Senior,
Yes,
and I'm a yes. Right. Mr. Baker Jr., you did vote yes on that, correct?
I did, yeah.
Okay, all right. All right, so, well, condition one will have an occupancy,
load thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
load, thank you, for the, proposed, use. We'll have a speed bump installed. Where do we want the speed bump installed? As we enter into the parking lot area, or?
What about the boundary of their suite? Or I don't know how far.
Well, you'd
Oh,
want to, you kind of want to slow them down before they get there, I would imagine.
When you pull in that parking lot, there's a parking lot out front with an opening, and then there's a little island, and then there's more parking. So I would say right where that island is, between the,
Is that before you
that's
get
way
to?
before, yeah, that's before you get to the, anywhere near down back. And Tom was
All right.
shaking his head yes. I think that's be the best spot to put it, right at that island.
Okay.
There's like a bump out for the parking area
Mm-hmm.
with, I think there's a tree or something planted there too, but if we put it right across there, that's gonna cover them coming in from either side of VFW.
All right. All right.
Slow there'll be signs there that say speed bump and they'll slow them down.
Okay. So we'll have the sign for the speed bump and the sign that says caution children.
Yeah, whatever, they go to a sign shop and they'll go by the Mass DOT.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a standard
Right,
code sign that they'll have
Right.
to, install. It's probably won't be more than $400 to buy it and install it.
Right.
As far as location, were those to be on each side of the entrance or?
they could actually use one pole and put up the speed bump sign and slow children,
Okay,
you know,
Or caution children or whatever.
whatever the
Yeah.
sign would say for children.
Okay, we talked about a drop-off procedure. The facility management shall draft up a drop-off procedure and submit it to the building inspector for approval. Said procedure will discharge children to parents as they leave, and parents will discharge children to the facility when they drop them off. You know, something to that extent. They'll have to draft their own language and submit it to Mr. Rubel for his approval, if he, you know, for it to be acceptable to him. Is that okay, Tom?
Thumbs up.
Okay,
Be fine.
sure. All right.
I would have in that verbiage that there's no drop off in the fire lane.
Yeah, okay. They're precluded from using the fire lane for their drop-off procedures and
Or any in front of the building. They need-
Yeah.
Because if one of the kids gets hurt that's playing, the ambulance got to pull up. And if there's a whole line of cars dropping off kids, there's no room for the ambulance or the fire trucks to get in there.
right. No, I agree with that. That's good thinking. Did we have any other conditions for the special permit?
Hours of operation.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. So
I would say 9 to 7, Monday through Friday. 9 to 6 Saturday. And 9 to 3 on Sunday.
Given the nature of the zone and the other tenants, and I know the applicant or the applicant's representative has said 9 o'clock for all, and I agree. But would it be unreasonable to say not earlier than 8 a.m. Monday through Friday, just in case somebody wants to come in and get something done?
Yeah, we could go to 8. It probably would only be in the summertime anyway. You know,
I mean, certainly they don't have to, but they'd have that option if they wanted.
all
so
right.
8 to 7.
8 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Friday.
Yeah. And their last
Yeah.
appointment would be at 6 o'clock.
Right. Saturday 9 to 6.
Or 8 to 6 on Saturday, 8 to 5.
All right. Well, 8 to 5. You want to do 8 to 5?
Yeah, with their last appointment at 4.
All right. What about Sunday? You want to? What about hours of Sunday?
8 to 3 or 9 to 3.
Yeah, Sunday can get kind of busy in the mornings. You know, I was thinking more 9, maybe even 10 to 3. I mean, you've got the Holy Family Church up
Right.
around the corner, getting in, letting out. I don't know. Any thoughts from the board on Sunday hours?
I think given the location and the type of business it is, I don't think even if we let them in at 8 o'clock in the morning, it's going to be particularly noisy or disruptive.
Okay. All right. 8 to 3 on Sunday.
Again, they don't have to, but if they wanted to, the option is there.
Correct. Deb, are you getting all this, or any questions so far?
Question on holiday hours?
Same as Sundays.
Yeah.
And they will not be open Christmas, Thanksgiving, 4th of July. And what was the other one that we usually stop?
Sure.
We don't,
Easter.
Easter.
Yeah.
Those holidays, they will not be allowed to be open.
Wanted to give the parents a break. We wouldn't let them open on Father's Day and Mother's Day, so they don't have to drive.
Steve, the rule on youth sports is it never occurs on Mother's Day and it always occurs on Father's Day.
What about Grandparent Day?
Wednesday.
Okay. Can we think of any other conditions we think might be,
Hey, gentlemen. Gentlemen,
I'm sorry, sir, the open hearing portion of the meeting
thank
has
you.
been
My
closed.
name's Ian O'Keefe. I'm actually the owner of the business.
Yeah,
We
sir,
withdraw our application. We can't operate like this, so we don't need to go any further. We withdraw our application. We can't work under these auspices, so we'll find another place to do business. Thank you.
okay, thank you, sir.
So do we vote to deny, vote? What do we do?
There's no need to vote. We can't work under these conditions, so thank you for your time.
To tell us how to operate. Greg, how do we proceed?
I'll make a motion to withdraw
Yeah,
Thank
to
you.
accept them withdrawing if,
my motion.
Thank
For
you.
the
Have a
use
good night,
variance.
gentlemen.
thank you, sir.
I'll make a motion to withdraw my motion for use variance for this property.
Okay. The motion's
Well, wait a
been,
minute, the use variance has already been granted.
And I'm withdrawing my motion.
Yeah, I think you have
Oh,
to
no,
move. to-
okay, wait a minute, no.
I think you have to move to reconsider and then.
Motion to
vote it again.
reconsider the motion for granting the use variance.
Matt,
okay, so the
do a
motion
roll
has
call.
been to reconsider, Mr. Galley,
yes,
Mr. Baker Senior,
Yes,
Mr. Baker Junior.
Yes,
I'm a yes. All right.
I'll make a motion that I withdraw my motion to grant the use variance for this property.
Okay, the motion
Well,
has been made. Seconded,
no, but to reconsider, you're basically doing a revote.
yeah. Or do we vote to rescind?
Oh, no, I'll make a motion to deny the use variance for this property.
Well, I think we have to rescind it first and then deny it. Is that
We're
procedurally correct?
let's see. We're reconsidering the vote right now. And we made a motion to reconsider the vote. Now we have to,
can we vote to deny as moot as the applicant withdrew their application?
Well, basically, yes, but we've got to be procedurally correct on it. I think what we have to do is rescind the approval. And then I don't know if we have to deny it after that
How do we do
or
that?
reconsider the vote. I'm not sure. I've never been in this situation. But under the circumstances, there are circumstances where approvals have been rescinded. So
Can we take a chance and go for it, or do you need to call
Well,
upon?
Have we allowed in the past?
Chairman, do you have Bob Galvin's number?
I don't have it with me.
You want me to see if I can call him?
Yeah.
yeah, that'd be a good idea.
When we're done with the meeting, I want someone to explain to me what was so difficult about this process. 'Cause
Yeah. We just want to get it right. I mean, they were asking for, a substantial variance. A use variance is a substantial variance. And, you know,
process. I want an education to understand what we were doing was so insurmountable. And that's, like I said, it's not part of this discussion, but I want an education. I might have some watch video again or something
you
to,
know, it was kind of unusual that the proponent or the applicant took the stance that he took, but
Well,
he's
that's
got a
the
right to.
Well, it
That's
is,
the big question, Greg. We've already closed the public hearing.
Yeah.
Can he come on and say he's withdrawing it now? That's gonna be the first question too.
Well, he can if we let him, you
well,
know. Or, you know, or we just vote to rescind the use variance.
never having been confronted with this kind of a situation, what would happen if, notwithstanding the comment that was made when the comment shouldn't have been made, that we voted to grant both parts of the application, the use variance and the special permit?
Well, if he just didn't go forward with the project, all right?
Right.
The
Bob
The-
had said, hold on,
the
Bob
special
said,
permit
hold on
would-
a minute. I'm gonna give him the information to get on.
all right. But if he didn't,
I'm just gonna step away for 1 second, Greg, I'm sorry.
sure.
But the owner of the property would still have a use variance there.
Yeah. So, I
That's
mean,
what I'm afraid, you know? But if he doesn't, if we just left it like it was, and he didn't pick up the appeal papers and file it with the registry, after a year, the use variance would go away, wouldn't it?
yeah, I mean, it would have to be recorded within a time frame. I know the special
Right.
permit has to be acted upon within 2 years.
Right. The
Um,
use variance,
I don't know about a variance. I guess a variance has to be acted on within a time frame.
Yeah.
What he should have done is let us vote for it and appealed the conditions that were, you know, unacceptable to him, and see if we could have. I didn't think the conditions were onerous. I think they were justified given, you know, what age of children and the amount of children and the, you know, in the facility that he was looking to operate out of.
that's what I was trying to do,
You know,
is protect the
I
children.
mean, most towns won't even entertain or even allow a zoning board to grant a use variance.
Mhm.
Rockland is kind of unique. I almost wish that we didn't have the ability to grant a use variance, because then we wouldn't be faced with this.
Mr.
challenge.
Galvin's on. Bob Galvin's on.
Hello, Bob.
Bob?
we need them to explain what they have to do when they take their ball and bat and go home.
Okay, so my understanding from speaking with Mr. Rubel is that an applicant that was seeking a special permit or a variance didn't want to go forward anymore and has left the meeting.
Right. He said he was withdrawing his application.
Okay,
He
well,
said you don't
it's
have
not,
to act.
it's actually not technically up to him, it's up to you all. Okay? So, but what I would suggest that you do out of a courtesy to him, and it's not something you have to do, is to make a motion to allow this person, the applicant, to withdraw without prejudice. And then
Okay.
take a vote on it. And your other option is to deny the application. you can do that too on the grounds that he left the meeting and, didn't get permission to withdraw. So those are your options.
So now you're aware that we took a vote to grant a use variance on this, at the beginning of the deliberation, right?
I'm
Right.
not.
Attorney? Yeah, so we voted to grant him a use variance for that unit. And then he's like, I'm out of here. I don't like your conditions. So now we want to rescind that
Wait.
use variance.
So is the public hearing still open?
No.
No,
You've already closed the public hearing on the matter?
Yeah,
Yes.
we were in deliberations, as Greg said, we had actually voted to approve the use variance with conditions, and we're deliberating on the special permit and the conditions that we were going
All
to.
right, and you're
impose on
still
that.
in the meeting now, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, so you can rescind your vote and allow him to withdraw without prejudice.
All right, so
Okay.
we've already done a motion to reconsider the granting of the use variance, so we can.
Right.
So we just now pick up on a motion to,
Yeah, now you can make a motion to allow him to withdraw without prejudice on the
Thank you.
basis of his verbal request to withdraw.
and
Mr.
then
Chairman,
do we rescind the use variance? Or do we rescind the use variance first and then give him vote to withdraw
I
without?
would rescind the use variance and then then withdraw.
Okay, all right.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that the use variance be rescinded.
Okay, the motion is made, and the second is made. Any discussion? Hearing none. Mr. Galley? Mr. Baker Jr.?
Yes.
Yes.
Mr. Baker Senior?
Yes.
And I'm a yes. Okay, so the use variance has been rescinded.
Yes.
Do I hear a motion to allow the applicant to withdraw without prejudice?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that the applicant be allowed to withdraw without prejudice based on his representation that he wished to withdraw the application.
Okay.
Second.
Second, any discussion among the board? Hearing none. Mr. Galley,
Yes.
Mr. Baker Jr.,
Yes.
Mr. Baker Senior,
Yes.
and I'm a yes. Okay, so now the special permit application was okay. So we allowed him to withdraw the special permit application without prejudice. Is that
No,
correct?
we just did the use variance. We haven't done the special permit yet.
So make the same motion to allow him to withdraw the special permit request.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we allow the applicant to withdraw the special permit request based on his representation that he wished to withdraw.
Second.
So there's been a second. Any discussion among the board? Hearing none. Mr. Galley,
Yes.
Mr. Baker Jr.,
Yes.
Mr. Baker Senior,
Yes.
and I'm a yes. Okay. So I think now what do we,
I want to let Bob know that we continued Shingle Mills till Tuesday at 6:30.
Next Tuesday at 6:30. Okay, very
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
I did email a draft of what I have been working on for you all to review, but should not be discussed tonight. Okay?
okay.
Not without Mr. Rosa being present. And that's a good night to do it.
Good.
All right?
Can
If any of you
Bob.
have any questions, you can contact me directly. All right?
Sounds good.
Okay.
Just a quick question, can we request like a continuance of the extension?
I talked to Mr. Roser about that earlier on, and I'll
Okay.
touch base with you
Okay.
tomorrow, Deb.
Fine,
All right?
Thank you.
Thank you, Bob.
Okay.
Thanks, Bob.
If you need me, just have Tom ring me back, and I'll be happy to join back in. All right?
We're all done.
All right.
Very good.
Very good. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Thank you, Attorney Galvin.
And thank you, Tom.
Okay, so now I guess I don't think there's any other business of the board.
Motion to adjourn.
Second,
Okay. Second, any discussion? Hearing none. Mr. Galley,
Yes.
Mr. Baker Jr.,
yes.
Mr. Baker Senior,
Yes.
and I'm a yes too. All right. Well, thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you
Have a
all.
nice, have
Good
a nice
job, Greg.
evening. Thank you.
Hey.
All right. Good night.